Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Tandai Mbonane here, and today we're starting a new video on operators. So let's get on to it. As you can see, I've already added some notes about operators here in our IDE. So let's see what operators are. So we've got two types of operators, unary and binary operators, where unary are operators that act on a single operand, while binary operates on two operands. We've got arithmetic operators, where we have unary operators, and arithmetics, where we have our increments operator. So an increments operator is an operator that adds 1 onto an operand. So our increments operator increments our operand in two ways. There is pre-increment and post-increment. Under pre-increment, our operator first operates on the variable and then save it. For example, if we were to declare the variable x and give it the value 2, and then we print this increment and then x, this will give us a value of 3. But under post increments, we first give out the operand and then increment it. For example, if we will have the same x is equal to 2, and then we output x, then increment, and then we output x again. So the first one, this output will give us an output of 2, but then this one will give us an output of 3, because in post increment we first give out the operand and then operate on it. So here we'll first print x, which is 2, and then we add 1. After that, our x will be equal to 3. That's why here it would be 3. Okay guys, that's it with our increments operator. Now we look at our decrements operator, which is simply the opposite of our increments. As we know, incrementing or adding 1, in decrements we subtract 1. And we also have pre-decrements and post-decrements, which is almost the same as the pre-increments and post-increments. The only difference is we'll be subtracting 1 from here. So we can just copy all of this and then paste it here. So we change the sign to minus, and here our output value will be 1, because from 2 we subtract 1 and then we print out the x, which will give us 1. And then with post decrement, it's almost the same as this one, so we're gonna copy this and paste it down here. So let's change the operand. So here we are saying x is equal to 2, so we print out x and then we subtract 1. So the first output will be 2, and here this output will be 1, because when we say x, which is 2, 2 minus 1 will be 1. So this second x will be 1. So that's it about increments and decrements operator. Now we're going to look at arithmetic operators, which are pretty much simple because they are the same operators like that of your mathematics. So addition is simply a number or a variable plus another one to give us an answer. For example, we can add values here and say x is equal to 10 y is equals to 5, right? So x plus y would give us an output value of 15. Here x minus y would give us an output of 5. Here x multiplied by y will give us an output of 50. And here x divided by y will give us an output of 2, because 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then we have our remainder division, whereby we take both our variables and divide them, and then the answer would be the remainder from that division. In this case, since x remainder division by y, the output value would be 0, because x divided by y is 2 and there's no remainder. So that is it about arithmetic operators. So now let us dive into assignment operators, which are operators that are used to assign values to variables. We have 5 different types of operators, which is the equal sign, and the one with a plus preceding it, with the minus, with the multiplication, and the remainder division. So these assignments simply gives value to variables. For example, here we are saying x is equals to y, whereby we are just giving it x, the variable y. Here we are saying x plus is equals to y, which means take x, add y, and then save it to x. Here it is x is equals to x plus y. Same as here, take x, subtract y, and then save it to x. Just like the equivalence. And with the multiplication, it's the same thing, x multiplied by y, and then save it to x. And then here, x divide by y, and then take the remainder, save it to x. For example, if we had values x is equals to 10 and our y is equals to 2. So here x is equals to y, so this one will change the value of x to y, whereby then x will be equals to 2. So when we output x here, our output would be 2, because we are saying assign the value of y to x. So the value of y is 2 and x is 10, so it will override the 10 such that x will be equal to 2. And then in this case, x plus is equals to y. X, since our x is now 2, plus is equals to y, so x plus y is equals to x. Our y is 2, so it will be 2 plus 2 is equals to x. So when we output x here, our output would be 4. And here, since our x now is 4 and y is still 2, so x minus is equal to y, so x minus y, which is 2, is equal to x. So when we output our x, we will get a value of 2, because 4 minus 2 is 2. And here you take x and multiply it by y, and then you save it to x. So 2 multiplied by 2, that is 4. So then our x will be equal to 4. And here again, when we want to output our x, our outputs will then be, since x now is 4 and y is still 2, so 4 divided by 2, that is 2. But we are looking for the remainder, and our remainder is 0. So our output in this case would be a 0. That is it with assignment operators. Let's move on to comparison operators, which are used to check for specific conditions, and they return 1 if the condition is true, or return 0 if condition is false. So 1 is equivalent to true and 0 is false. So we have equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So also here we can have variables with values x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 7. So onto our equal to comparison operator, we will check if x is equivalent to y. When checking if x is equivalent to y, you'll see x is 5 and y is equal to 7, so they are not equal. So it will give an output of 0 because it is false. And then let's check our not equal to. We check if x is not equal to y. So x is not equal to y, therefore our output will be 1 because this is true. We check our greater than. We see if x is greater than y. Since our x is not greater than y, our output would be 0. Then we check our less than. We check if x is less than y. And yes, x is less than y, so our output would be a 1 because it is true. So is x greater than or equals to y? We will check that. X greater than or equals to y. And our output would be a 0 because x is not greater than or equals to y. And then we check our less than or equals to, is x less than or equals to y. And our output would be a 1 because x is less than or equals to y. And then we have our logical operators, which are used to check logical conditions. So they work the same way with comparison, as they return 1 if condition is true and return 0 if condition is false. For example, if we had the same values as above, x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 7. And then we will check if else x is equivalent to 5. So this will check if x is equal to 5, and yes, x is equal to 5. But with the not operator, it will inverse the answer, so the for true will become false. So our output in this case would be a 0. And then logical AND is just to check two statements. We will check if x is equivalent to 5 and y is equivalent to 7. And our output obviously would be a 1 because x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 7. So both of these have to be true for the condition to be true. If one of these is false, then the output will be false. And then lastly, we'll look at our OR operator, whereby we check if x is equivalent to 4 or y is equivalent to 7. And here our output would be a 1 because this is true. While x is not equal to 4, but y is equal to 7. So in the logical OR, only one of these has to be true, so that the output will be true. And we also have our bitwise operators, and these are used to perform bit manipulation operation. So before any operation, they change the value to a bit and then they operate on it. They also return true or false. So that is all about operators, and thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, I'll encourage you to like it and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming video, whereby you will be looking at loops, and then you will get to see how these operators work. Thank you.